Mike Gallagher.
This annual experience here in New York, AM 970 The Answer hosts a big riverboat cruise, this beautiful Captain Fred's yacht, and this wonderful yacht that with huge. I mean, we had hundreds of people on the boat last night. We have our advertisers join us, friends and family from the station. And one of course, the key members of the AM 970 team is Arthur Aidala. He hosts a show called the Arthur Aidala Power Hour. He is one of the most prominent and well-respected defense attorneys in America, and he joins us whenever he can to weigh in on legal issues and matters. It was great seeing you, my friend, last night on the boat.
So I just wish you were able to hear I don't know, there may be like 8 or 10 people right behind me when I was standing, when you stood up to sing "Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat," and to hear their gasps of surprise, because they really didn't think, when guys in your status who are celebrities, oh, I'm going to sing a song, you think like they're going to come up there and flub it a little bit, and you crushed. I mean, you were fantastic.
No.
I know every word. Just sit down. You're rocking the boat.
Because you played nicely. When did you? What year did you play nicely in Guys and Dolls?
1983. 1983. Wow. I was 15 years old. But everyone behind me was like, "Oh my God, gee, oh, I didn't know. It's so good." Oh,
no,
I enjoyed that as much as you crushed it. You were fantastic. And yes, it was a love fest.
But it was a love fest. They put me right in the middle of the great Joe Piscopo's set, and he's amazing. He's astounding. Joe was singing, and then they brought me up to do "Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat." I was kind of mad at myself. I missed the first high note. You probably caught it because you've got a good ear and you played the role, but I was a little off on that first note. But I had fun doing that.
You did not embarrass yourself, young man. You did not embarrass yourself whatsoever.
Well, you're very kind. Look, I want to dive in with you, Arthur. We're down the rabbit hole, man. We got weird. All the legal challenges that Trump is facing, they're not going to go away except from this little noticed headline, and it's little noticed because of the debate reaction and the campaigns. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee threw out 2 charges brought against Trump by Fani Willis. The additional 41-count indictment accused Trump and other co-defendants of trying to overturn the results of the election. Is this a nothing burger from your perspective, Arthur? Is it a pretty big deal?
It's somewhere in the middle between both of those. What it shows, look, he didn't throw out the main charge, which is what we, I'm involved in the case. I'm representing Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
So we joined in President Trump's lawyers' motions, which were fantastic. We wanted him to throw out basically the big charge, which is the racketeering charge, and he didn't do it. But this guy is clear, this Judge McAfee, he's clearly, like, as he should be, like he's not winging it. He's doing his homework. He actually, I think in total threw out 3 charges, and they all had to do with filing instruments that were supposed to be filed in federal court. And he basically said, listen, these aren't state charges. These are federal charges, and go bring them in federal court. But the big charge which is the racketeering, which if anyone gets convicted in Georgia, there's a mandatory minimum 5-year jail sentence. And Mike, I got to tell you, representing from a personal point of view, my firm representing Rudy Giuliani in a case where if we lose, just so people understand, even if the judge was Rudy Giuliani's uncle, he's got to send him to jail for 5 years. The same with President Trump. So everyone is, it's been put off now because Fani Willis, the prosecutor of those, to refresh people's recollection, she allowed her boyfriend and assigned him to be the special prosecutor, and he gets paid hourly by the state, and that adds up to a nice sum of money. So Judge McAfee said, okay, one of the 2 of you have to get off the case. So he left the case, and then we appealed, saying, hey, to the higher court, to the appellate court, saying, hold on, she shouldn't be on the case either. And if they rule in our favor, her whole office gets thrown off the case. A brand new prosecutor's office has to be assigned to the case. And this literally could be going on 3 or 4 years from now if that was with the case. They have to come down with a ruling by March. So we don't think anything's happening imminently. The appeals court in Georgia doesn't have to give their ruling until March of 2025. But they can give it any time between now and then. And, we're kind of on pins and needles to see what they say. If they say Fannie Willis cannot stay on the case. It's our whole office that gets thrown off the case. And a brand new office has to be assigned, I guess, by one of the judges of the appellate court. And they start from scratch. And obviously, they would need probably a year to figure out what's going on.
All right, Arthur, this is where I ask you to kind of merge the world of politics and law. And you're the expert, and believe me, if you're in trouble, this is the guy. I mean, Arthur Aidala, of course, his show nightly on AM 970, The Answer, from 6 to 7. You get his podcast. Follow Arthur on social media as well. I have a strong belief that one of the driving factors behind Trump's poll numbers and his popularity today is because of the weaponization of the court system, because of these ridiculous, trumped-up charges, taking misdemeanors, turning them into felonies, racketeering, all of this crap. Do you agree with that, Arthur? Can you step back from your legal hat, take your legal hat off for just a moment, and look at this through a political lens? Do you agree with me that a whole bunch of Americans are saying we don't like seeing this weaponization of the court system, and that's why we're supporting Trump?
I think I dislike it more than any of you guys do, because I'm part of it, and I'm watching the system becoming bastardized. It's supposed to be that there's a crime, and then you find the individual. So there's a crime, there's a victim. The victim complains to law enforcement, and then the law enforcement goes out and finds out who committed the crime. With Trump, you'd be naive to say it wasn't exactly the opposite way around. They found the guy, and then they're like, all right, let's figure out what kind of crimes we can bring against this guy. And that is, just
it's sickening.
Backside backwards. I don't want to curse on your show.
No, I don't want to curse either, but
backside backwards of how it's supposed to be done.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And you've been in a lot of courtrooms, and you've got some of the highest profile clients in the country. From your perspective, is what they've been doing to Trump unprecedented? Have you ever seen anything like this on even a local level?
Well, you don't want me to keep the answer because I know you get mad, but I was all over the newspaper today and yesterday about a case where they do the exact same thing. They targeted, we'll just say, a very well-known Hollywood producer, and they said, oh, his case was reversed on appeal, and that's not good enough. So let's go out and find anyone who will say even decades ago something happened so we can charge him again. So sadly, Michael, I would like to say this has only happened to President Trump, but I would be disingenuous since I was all over the news last night and all in the newspapers today saying that what happened in that particular case is the same thing that happened with Trump. They found the human being and they said, now let's find a crime. And that is as anti-American as you can get. It's what they do in places where there's communists and fascists, but it's not supposed to happen in a democracy.
It sure isn't, but we're grateful for warriors like you who are sounding the alarm and doing tremendous work, both in the courtroom and on the airwaves. Arthur Aidala, great seeing you nicely. Keep fighting the good fight.
Keep sitting down. Don't rock the boat, Mike. Don't rock the boat.
I'm going to rock the boat every chance I get. Thank you, Arthur. Take care. And it was fun to perform that, knowing I saw Arthur in the audience and knowing he was once nicely. I want to be nicely again. That's a great role.